Smileys Plastering, providing award-winning plastering and rendering services for over 25 years. I will handle everything from a small repair to a whole commercial building inside and out. Get a free quote day or night and every job gets a Smileys touch. Give us a call on 0417 730 926 or visit the website smileysplastering.com.au.
Renee, your family's heavily involved in hockey. How's that affected you?
It was kind of a good thing and a bad thing for me, I think. You know, I was always exposed to hockey from a young age. I remember Mum telling a story about being in Tassie, and I would have been only 4 or 5 months old, and they'd go to hockey, hand me and my brother off to babysit, and they'd both go play at separate places. And at the end of the game, they'd come back, and then we'd all just leave. And I think all my memories have been hockey. You know, I've been scootering down a hill to my right here down the hockey centre and been yelled at while Mum's on the field and Dad's coaching. And then, you know, growing up, kind of had Dad coaching a few like rep teams and club teams. And even over the last 4 or 5 years, I don't remember actually having a different coach in a club team. Not because he wanted to coach me, but he was the best person to coach our Div 1 team. So, and I've just progressed into that team. So it's made it quite interesting for the both of us having to learn the player-coach role instead of the dad-daughter role. So we messed that up a few times, I think. So I got a lot of comments of, you know, you can't speak to your coach like that, you can't speak to your coach like that. And it took me a long time to actually realise that, okay, he's coach now, he's not dad. And vice versa for him, a lot of the times he'd want me to treat him like the coach, but then I was still his daughter, I was another player, so we found that we were speaking to each other like dad and daughter, because I wouldn't speak to another coach that way and he wouldn't speak to another player that way. Mum was always the mediator, she was always around, but she kind of just took a back seat with it all. She didn't want to coach. She did a bit of managing, but never of my teams, always of like teams below. But so she was a bit of the mediator of it all and tried to keep it all calm. And I don't know what Jared was doing, he was always off to the side doing his own thing, but I think he escaped most of it, so.
I was just about to say, you haven't mentioned Jared. So did you grow up playing together? Did you feel that he was pulling you to a men's level or what? You know?
Yeah, 100%. Like even, I think my very first hockey team I played in, I was 7 and I was playing in his under 11s team. And I do remember the very first goal I scored was down in Melbourne, the very last game of the season, hadn't scored a goal. I was the little left wing that stood there. I remember coming off one game because it was too cold, but very last game and I've pushed the ball in and it's gone over the line and another kid's come in and tried to take the goal off me. And he's saying, I scored. My brother's come up, no you didn't, that's Renee's goal. And everyone backed out, so I got my first goal there. But you know, we'd create little games in the backyard, like we'd go out and play in the backyard. There was never any rules, no shoes or shin pads. I'm surprised we didn't break more toes or legs or anything. But we'd create games with like a tennis racket, so we'd play hockey with tennis rackets. I think we played hockey with golf clubs one day, that ended very quickly. But no, I definitely have a lot to thank him for where I am at now. I don't think I'd be able to get there without him, whether it's he's pulling me off for a run and making me run faster, or we're just mucking around in the backyard and me trying to tackle him, that sort of thing.
So Renee, you're a little bit of a strange case that you didn't play state representative hockey until you were in the under 18s. How and why?
I think a lot of it was a positional thing as well as an attitude thing. So under 13s, under 15s, always wanted to make it, was always in the number 1 Brisbane team, had the opportunities to make it. But what probably wasn't until under 18s that I really turned around and said, no, I really want to do this, I really want to make this team. And so I changed positions, so I was playing at the back because I didn't really like to run. So I wanted to play fullback, it was a pure laziness thing. And then I started realising, no, I want to do more, I want to run more. So I was fit, I just didn't run. So I moved into the midfield and the striker line and started playing and could score a few goals, so I was doing quite well there. And just like completely changed my attitude to playing. Like I wanted to be there, I wanted to play, I wasn't too good to be there or too cool to be there, that sort of thing. So it was really quite interesting. I think commercial hockey has a big part in playing that. So I moved to commercial the same year that I made my first Queensland squad. So that was quite exciting. You know, they really pushed me, they got me to pull my head in a little bit. And then from there, just kind of wanted it, trained for it and really worked hard for it.
It's been a year since you've been in Perth now. Are you feeling more comfortable than you were?
Yeah, so being in Perth for a year now, I've really settled in. I'm feeling a lot better with the program. I know what is expected. I know what I need to do to, you know, feel more comfortable in the team. I've played a few more games and just I'm settling in and I know what's required from me.
Who's been your biggest help in that process?
Oh, a few of the girls, a lot of the older girls, so I've got a mentor over there, Tennille Addard. So if I've ever got an issue, I just go over to her, have a chat with her, and she catches up with me every few weeks just to make sure I'm doing all right. So it's quite good just having that little mentoring program over there in Perth.
Now, big news that Adam Cummins is leaving at the end of the year. What are your thoughts? Does that affect you as a player from a selection perspective?
As a player, not really. It's going to be really unfortunate we're losing him and his hockey brain to head back over to Belgium, but I think the team's in a really good place at the moment to just pick up with the new coach where we left off.
We've talked about the fact that you come from a very strong hockey family. Do you think that's affected your attitude at all?
Yeah, I think growing up, Dad always would talk technical and tactical, and I did a lot of umpiring, so I knew a lot of the rules, and I found with the type of person I am, very outgoing, I'll say what I think type thing. On the field probably worked against me a little bit, so the umpires probably didn't know as much as I probably would know, and my way of getting that across to them was sometimes taken towards a negative attitude, I spoke back to the umpires, I wasn't respectful for them, I just had a negative attitude in general. So it took a long time for me to actually realise that that's not okay and I just need to tone that down a little. I think that was a big part of my changing as a player. So I calmed down with the umpires, I didn't say anything back, I kind of made it sort of more of a positive attitude, so I accept feedback better, that sort of thing. And I think having moving into QIS and having playing with the commercial girls, they're the type of people, they're going to put me in my place if I get a bit too big for my boots or I get a bit too much of a negative attitude, but they're definitely the first people around that are going to pick me back up when I need a bit of a boost and a bit of confidence. So just learning that balance between, or not even balance, just learning and maturing with my attitude and realising where I want to go, my attitude's not going to take me there, so I've got to have a better approach before it. People have their opinions and interpretation of rules and ideas, and I can't just go up to them and say that's wrong type thing. So learning how to manage that and what I need to do to get my point across in a more calm and more respectful way.
Renee, some quick questions for you. Which person in the world, dead or alive, would you most like to meet?
Oh, Richie McCaw, 100%. I've met him. Well, I haven't met him. I've seen him in a few tournaments with Gemma Flynn. Haven't got the chance to meet him. Really upset about that. Hoping this year's the year.
What does Renee Taylor do with her downtime?
I read a lot, and when I'm not reading, I'm probably asleep.
What place in the world would you most like to go?
Oh, either Italy or Canada.
Who's your biggest inspiration?
At the moment, it'd probably be Danette Smith from Commercial Hockey Club. She's just an incredible player, and just watching her, I try and base my game on her.
What's your crave food?
Oh, ice cream.
What's your greatest moment?
Definitely debuting for the Hockeyroos.
What's your biggest regret?
Not studying when I had the year at home.
What do you find the hardest things are to balance in life?
I think being a professional athlete and also being a teenager still young, but I'm also a professional athlete, so I have to be mature.
And what do you miss the most?
I think I have very strong club ties to Commercial Hockey Club, so I love my club in Perth, which is Melville, but not being able to play with all the girls every weekend, so thoroughly enjoyed that.
It's well documented that you've got a triangle tattoo on your foot. And what's the story you tell everyone?
Everyone else has a meaning. There's absolutely zero meaning. Occasionally I come up with something out of the blue to make it really meaningful, but to be honest, I have a few. So my dad told me I'd get kicked out if I went and got another tattoo. So when I found out I was moving to Perth, went out and got a triangle on my foot. Really great idea at the time. Still a great idea. It's one of my favourite tattoos, but yeah, it's just quite funny. So something I went for, and then
did he kick you out? What was his reaction when he saw it?
Well, Mum thought it was a Nico pen, so she tried rubbing it off, which was actually a really bad idea because I actually saw it quite painful. It was that night. She's like, that's not real, can't be real, it's a Nico pen. Tried rubbing it off and Dad just shook his head and walked away, so that was quite funny. Didn't actually ever get kicked out, but just moved out on my own will. I was going to get a paw print, but went with the triangle instead, so I thought the paw print might, just a little bit too cliche.
Now, talking of paw prints, you got a bit of a funny story to share.
Yeah, so I always wanted a dog. Ever since, so we had 2 Ridgebacks when I was growing up. Ever since we haven't had them, I've always wanted another one. I remember in year 9 I did up a slideshow about why I should get a dog. Put Jesus in there, put religion in there, put like well-being in there, put everything I could think of in there. They still said no. Eventually I found out the magic trick was, Daddy, can I please have a puppy? And Dad goes, all right, we're building a deck. If you dig the holes while I'm in Bali, you can have a puppy. So I've gone, great. Jared, Mum and Dad have asked you to dig these holes while they're away. He goes out there, spends half a day digging the holes. I occasionally brought refreshments, came back and I got a dog. So it's quite exciting for me. Not sure if Jared knew that was part of the plan, but I suppose he got a puppy at the same time too. So it's a bit of a cheeky one there, but you know, it's all about delegation, I think.
You sound quite passionate about these dogs. Particular breed or?
Well, like my poison's cavoodle, so I've got a little one called Max. You can follow him on Instagram if you guys would really like to. It's Max Taylor the cavoodle. He's absolutely nuts, crazy. Like anyone would look at him and go, why would you want that? He's really cute, but just like not intelligent. But while I'm over in Perth, don't have a dog yet, so I just take whatever I can get. So I walk a miniature schnauzer, get paid to walk a miniature schnauzer. And occasionally I just text the girls, hey, I'm coming around to play with your dog, see you soon. So they cop that one a bit, but they get used to it.
Are you looking for something small enough to be the Paris Hilton of carrying a dog around in your hockey bag with you?
Oh, I'm not looking for a little rat, to be honest, you know. I would probably go with another cavoodle again. Just found out I can get another dog this year, so it's on order. I'm very excited, still thinking of names too, so going through that.
Who's going to look after the dog while you're at the Olympics?
Oh, well, my roommate also wants a dog, but I'm the one getting the dog. We need to get that clear. So she says she's happy to look after it while I'm away, and if I'm away for longer than 2 or 3 weeks, I'll probably just send it over to Mum and Dad and it can hang out with Max for a bit. Thanks, Smiley. Hope you guys enjoyed having me as your person of the week.